Let's see. I think that bottom one's my grandpa's Bible. And the second one is my grandma Sylvia's Bible. She's Osage. And this is my Bible. Gator. And I grew up with this Bible, reading this Bible, just like you grew up with a Bible, reading the Bible. And I've read this whole thing. I've read this whole thing, cover to cover, and I don't remember it all. But I remember a lot of it. One thing I remember that a lot of people talk about, and it was one of the first things that I wondered, is why don't they explain in this Bible who the Nephilim are? They just say, oh, they were the Nephilim and they were here, but they don't tell you who they are. There's all kinds of instances in this book where they will tell you a name, but they don't explain who that name is or where that name come from. Sometimes they totally hide names, hide places. That doesn't mean the book is not true. It just means that it's got a whole bunch of stuff that's left out for a certain purpose. Okay? Now, it really doesn't make any difference to me because I'm a Kiowa Cherokee. I already told you that. That means I'm from the lost Israel tribe of Reuben. All right? Who at the time this stuff was going on, my family was actually on another continent called America. Okay? So this is in the time of Roman emperors, Romans' height, Roman wars, Roman conquest, Persians. I mean, it's just, it's nuts as to how long the story is. You know, it's interesting, this coin here, since you like silver. Have you ever studied what this Frisian cap, what these people, who these people were, and who they become, and where they came from, and why they put that Frisian cap on all our money? Do you ever wonder about that at all? Because it sure don't agree with the Holy Bible, does it? Okay, having said, again, I will say it again, I am not of the tribe of Judah like you are. And I'm not a Roman. I do not go by this Roman Bible right here. I don't go by this Roman Bible anymore. I'm not a Roman like you are. I'm a Kiowa, Cherokee, the tribe of Reuben, one of the lost tribes of Israel. So this story really don't make a crap bit of difference to me. But if you want to know more about the people and the places and the things and the whys and the why nots that's in this Bible, and he will not disagree with this Bible. He won't. Ralph Ellis is who you need to go watch. You need to go watch Ralph Ellis and let him explain to you, although he will tell you, and I will tell you, that even though he has pointed out in all the history books who Jesus is and how real Jesus is, the Romans that wrote this book, your Roman Catholic Church, your Vatican that you love so much, don't like Ralph Ellis. Put it that way. It's not that he's not telling the truth. It's not that he hasn't found the story. It's they don't like that he found the story, and you're not supposed to be telling people about what's in this book, who it is, where it is, why it is. Ralph Ellis's greatest examples. Jesus was a king. Jesus was born a king. Jesus died a king, and Jesus had 3 kings come to visit him from Parthia. Jesus was a king. He had king's blood. We're talking about the great-grandson of Julius Caesar himself. Okay? Jesus was a king. Jesus was a carpenter. Aren't you the son of that carpenter? Yes, he was a carpenter. He was a carpenter on the temple. They were building the temple in Galilee. Okay? Ralph will tell you that all you got to do is take the dates in this Bible and move them 20 years, and it fits right into Roman history. Change a few names to what they should be. You know, instead of calling him the false prophet, he's Jesus. False prophet, Jesus. Same guy. But the name is different. One way Ralph Ellis will show you this is that Josephus, who is Paul, who is Saul, just happened to be on the same boat as Paul that crashed at Crete at the same time and was put in the prison at the same place at the same time. So obviously Paul and Josephus knew each other, and that's easy to figure out because they're the same person. They're also Joseph of Arimathea, who took Jesus down from the cross. After 5 hours, you don't die being nailed to a cross for 5 hours. No, you end up blind in one eye because they beat your ass on the way up there, all right, and broke your hip. So you end up on the road to Damascus after Mary has bandaged you up. On the road to Damascus, you meet up with Josephus, who is Paul, who is Saul, and he goes with you to Rome. Just like he went to Rome with your brother James, who Jesus clearly says, after I die, James is supposed to take over the church. Whose church was it in the first place? It was a Phoenician church. But it was mostly under John the Baptist, who got his head chopped off. You notice that. Got his head chopped off. What happened to James? Oh, got pushed out of a window and beat to death with clubs. Okay, and what happened to Jesus? Well, Jesus was a political prisoner because he was a king that fought Vespasian. Actually, Vespasian's son, Titus, whatever you want to call him, was the one who was fighting the Jews. You just need to move the story in this book up 20 years to where it's supposed to be, and this book fits right in with Syrian history, Egyptian history, Roman history. This book fits right in with all history. And it fills in all the holes that I was missing all my life while I was reading this book. I still read this book. I still believe in this book. But I'm not a follower of Paul's Christians anymore. I am a follower of James' Christians. They were both Christians. They were both spreading the Christian word. I don't even like Italians, like I told you. All right, I'm not going to go into it any more than that. Just tell you that you need to study this cap on this silver dollar and watch Ralph Ellis. And when you've watched all of Ralph Ellis and you come back and you tell me, no, I don't believe in that. I still believe the Romans who won the war between the Jewish people and the Romans, in which who was the commander, who was the king, who was the lead. Well, Jesus was the king, but the lead was Helena. She's the one that had the money. Where'd the money go? Built the Colosseum. Titus finished Vespasian's Colosseum with Jesus' money, because Jesus' army, and it was not only Jesus' army, it was the army of Edessa, and it was the army of Petra, and it was the army of Jesus. And they all went together to fight against Titus. And Titus won. Vespasian won. But they didn't kill Jesus. They just locked his ass up out on some big island in the ocean, never to be heard from again. And that put an end to the church, which was Jesus, James the Just, and the leader, John the Baptist. Peace out, Gator. Later.